faking. What? You a goon or you faking real tough talk? Only goons get it shaking real tough talk. I hope your bite is like your bark with that tough talk. This is what New York been missing, real tough talk. You a goon or you faking real tough talk? Only goons get it shaking real tough talk. I hope your bite is like your bark with that tough talk. This is what New York been missing, real tough talk.
What's going on, people? Thank you for being here with us today. I want to welcome you to another episode of Real Tough Talk, Brooklyn Edition. I'm Stephen A. I'm here with Ghost, and we're here to talk to you about some exciting games that happened on Sunday in the BQFL.
Yes, this was pretty much some of the best games that we had on the field so far. Teams that are ready to face each other, teams that are actually ambitious to say that they are worthy of a championship bout, and they're showing it today by playing these high caliber teams and trying to come up with a win.
That being said, we're going to jump on the two first games of the day. One of the first games of the day with the two teams, Blackout versus Primetime. Blackout is coming off of a win, beating in a close game versus the Chiefs that they won. And Primetime is coming off of a blowout loss to the Raiders, 28-6.
And that's something that probably didn't sit well with Primetime going through the whole week, knowing that that's a loss that you don't want to have going into the next week. So now they're ready to just wash it off and be ready to play this game and come out with a big win today.
That means we're going to jump into the game right now. We're going to have Primetime going for the onside kick, and they're going to recover the ball. Way to start it out, Blackout was sleeping, and Primetime was able to capitalize on that mistake and get the ball back.
And that's one thing about the onside kick. You have to really be aware of where the ball is going at all times, because if not, all it takes is a second for you to lose that possession and turn the momentum to the other team's favor.
Berto's going to get the ball for this Primetime offense. We've seen Berto struggle a little bit last week, and hopefully he can turn it around today. He's going to throw a short pass to Fat Boy for a short gain. Then 2 plays later, he's going to roll to the right and throw the pass across the field, but it's going to be dropped by the receiver. Then Berto's going to throw a short pass to Fat Boy, but it's going to be a turnover, giving the ball back to Blackout. Then Primetime not able to capitalize on an onside kick.
And that's just Berto not necessarily in the right rhythm on the first drive. Hopefully he gets it together, because if he's still struggling from last week, this is going to be a long game for him, because Blackout will be ready for this team.
Ruben's going to get the ball for this Blackout offense starting at quarterback. He's going to throw a pass in the middle of Alex, but it's going to be intercepted here by Fat Boy, giving the ball right back to Primetime. Great play by Fat Boy to intercept this pass.
And if you look, this is a bad decision on Ruben's part to throw this ball, because the defender was coming across anyway, ready and watching him the whole time. So he needs to pay attention to that before making these type of throws. Give himself at least another second to make a decision, because if not, it's going to lead to more turnovers like this.
True indeed. If you look, he's locked in here on Alex. And Fat Boy, who was running across the side, followed his eyes and jumped the route and was able to get the interception. Great play by Fat Boy, giving the ball right back to this Primetime offense. Berto's going to get the ball, and he's going to throw the disco for a short gain. Then Berto's going to throw a pass. Suleiman in the end zone is going to be off target, incomplete. Then Berto's going to throw a pass to Meek in the end zone, almost going to be intercepted by Jay, but a turnover one down, giving the ball back to Blackout. Again, Berto's not able to capitalize, and him and his receivers definitely not on the same level.
And this is not looking good, because eventually, every opportunity, even the first one that you got from Blackout, you didn't capitalize on. Eventually, Blackout is going to capitalize if you give any team the opportunity to, and you're going to put yourself that much more in the hole. They need to get it together fast, because this is not going to be a good game for them if they don't.
Well, Blackout's going to get the ball back again, and he's going to throw a pass to Jay in the middle, but it's going to be broken up by Pratt. Pratt makes a great play here. I like Pratt. He's one of my favorite players. Guy's physical, he flies around the field, and he makes plays.
And one thing I noticed is that Primetime at least is stepping up on defense. They're actually making plays on defense to give Blackout a hard time moving the ball. And with a play like that from Pratt, they need that to keep in this game, since their offense is struggling so much.
Ruben's going to throw a short pass on the side, and it's almost going to be intercepted by Lamar forcing Blackout to punt. Great defense by this Primetime team. Berto's going to get the ball back, and he's going to throw Lamar for a few yards. Then Berto's going to throw a pass and prep for a short gain, and then follow up with a pass in the front of the end zone is going to be incomplete and a turnover on downs. That's going to be the third time that this Primetime offense gets the ball and they're not able to do anything with it.
And the sad part is they were only supposed to have it in 2 possessions. They got it in 3 from the onside kick, and they still couldn't capitalize. So this is really bad on their part because they're getting opportunity after opportunity. Now the defense is making plays, and they can't get anything going. Something is going on with them. They need to fix it now because I'm gonna keep repeating it. They're gonna lose their opportunity if they don't. They gotta do something quick.
Well, Blackout's going to get the ball back again, and now you're going to see Alex come in and throw. He's going to go downfield to Ruben, but it's going to be picked up by Roland. Great interception by Roland, giving Primetime back the ball. Now, what I want to say about this play, if you look at this play, Alex is looking for Ruben, but he has 2 other receivers open. So instead of making the safe throw, Alex throws a very low percentage pass that's going to get picked off by Roland. Terrible throw by Alex. You can't make this mistake.
And that's just risks that you do not need to take. You didn't need to go for it at that point. You had, the short yardage. Get the short yardage, a safe throw, and actually, try again the next drive. They played. The defender was too close to that receiver for you to try to make a pass like that. So you have to look into another direction. He doesn't, and it causes an interception.
Next play, Show's going to end up making contact with the giver. Papa's letting him rush Berto, and Berto's going to have to force a throw, but he's going to get the ball off. It's going to be for a short game. Then Berto's going to end up getting sacked here by Papa's, forcing Primetime to punt again. Great play by Papa's, getting off the ball, going after the quarterback, getting the sack, and now this is the 4th time this Primetime offense has been stopped when the defense has made a great play. 3 out of the last 4 plays down.
Well, the offense is terrible right now. And that's something that you don't usually hear about Primetime. Their offense is struggling when their defense is playing well. The thing is, the first play was Show accidentally running into the ball giver. That cost them a down. They get a little gain, but it doesn't help. And then the sack. Those are 2 plays that they use up. And what else can you do but punt on that drive? This is not looking good for Primetime. All they're doing is they keep turning over the ball, turning over the ball, and it's gonna hurt them eventually. This is not looking good for them at all.
If you didn't know by now, we're still at 0-0. Nobody has scored yet. Alice is going to throw a pass and for a short gain. Then Alice is going to follow up with a pass to Ruben for the first down. Now we finally get a little offense with Alice moving the ball. He's going to throw a pass in a gap, but it's going to be broken up by Show. Great play by Show here. Then Alice is going to end up running the ball for a few yards. And on the next down, Alice is going to get sacked by Disco, taking this in the half. Great sack by Disco, making plays on defense this time, taking us into the half 0-0. Great play. Great defense today by Primetime.
Yes, they're actually playing and they're getting the job done on defense. But one thing I gotta say is we haven't seen offense at all
from either team.
On both sides, it's been horrible pretty much. Blackout went through 2 quarterbacks and they still can't get anything done. And Berto's really struggling, bringing that struggling game that he had last week into this week, and it hasn't changed. He's still not getting anything done. The offense looks like they're lost out there. Something needs to be done on either team. Otherwise, it's going to be a long and boring game, in my opinion.
Well, Berto got to step it up to me. He's definitely a guy that can make some throws, but he looks lost at times. He even looks a little nervous at times, like he doesn't have confidence in his throws, and that causes him not to make the best decisions. If this team wants to win a championship, they have to do it defensively, because Berto is not looking like a quarterback that can carry a team. So the defense is going to have to make turnovers in order for this team to win games. And on the other side, Blackout is looking very inconsistent. They're looking like they wasn't built for this game. They look slow, they look tired, and that's causing them to make mistakes and turn the ball over.
And all they're doing is when they have clear opportunities, sometimes they have people that's left open. They're not spanning the field. They're not looking. Alex in particular, yes, he got in late in the half, but still, he's not looking at the whole field. Certain guys are open out there, and they're not connecting with them. They're just not able to move the ball.
Alex is about 6'4". there's no excuse to not be able to see the whole field. He has to play better in the second half. No excuses. You got to make plays at the quarterback position. Second half, Primetime's going to get the ball, and Burrow's going to throw deep to Pratt in the end zone, but it's going to be intercepted by Alex, giving the ball back to Primetime. If you don't care, Show was wide open on the sideline. What is Burrow seeing? Because it's not his receivers, because he's not going to them.
I don't know what he's seeing out there. He's definitely not looking at the whole field, because all you have to do is glance for a second to the right, and you see Show with his hands up, you know, practically screaming for the ball. And you don't look at him, you already have your eyes set on one receiver, and that causes turnovers, because when you are set on the receiver, the defense is going to get set on the two, and they're able to make plays. And that's exactly what happens on this one.
Well, Alex is going to give the ball back for Primetime. He's going to throw a pass in the middle for a nice gain. The next play, throw short to the receiver for a few yards. And on this next down, Alex is going to come out. He's going to throw a pass to Lou, coming crossing in the back of the end zone for the touchdown, putting Blackout up 6-0.
And this was just finally some team puts points on the board after this whole half and a couple minutes into the second half. Finally somebody gets on the board.
But I'm not going to sit down and give this offense Blackout that much credit. You're going to look at defense finally breaking. They had a bend, but don't break. But they're going to break, because eventually a defense is going to get caught. And if you look at this play here, Alex is going to pump, which brings Strag up. Strag is guarding Lou. The pump brings Strag all the way up and leaves Lou wide open for the touchdown with Alex finding him. You can't do this if you're Strag. You can't bite for this pump. He bites and steps all the way up, leaving Lou wide open for the touchdown. That's more a mistake. Great play by Alex, but that's more Strag making a mistake than Primetime actually making a play.
But at the end of the day, all that is, you know, Strag trying to step up and trying to make a play. Doing what he can to make a play for the offense, for his offense to get back on the field. Unfortunately, he ends up biting on the pump, being too eager to make something happen, and it causes them to Blackout able to put points on the board. That's something that you don't need at this point, but eventually one of the defenses is going to crack, and you see Primetime do it here.
Primetime's going to get the ball back, and Berto's going to throw a pass, and Disco's going to make a great diving catch for a nice game. And, you know, I don't want to take too much attention off of the catch, but this is a bad throw by Berto. If you look at Disco, he's running on the inside, but Berto throws it back to the outside when he already committed in. And Disco, who's a guy who can adjust to the ball, very underrated at receiver when it comes to adjusting to the ball. He adjusts his body back to the outside, and with his length and reach, able to get this ball. I think that has to be one of the frames of the day, because if you look at the way he stretches for this ball, that's a great catch with your momentum going the opposite way.
And that takes a lot of focus to be able to see that the ball is going the opposite way that your body's going, and then adjust right on a dime to be able to stretch and get the ball. That's just Disco making a great play for Berto, because that was not a good throw at all.
And not to cut you off, but you gotta see that's a frame of the game.
Oh, definitely. No. I was getting to that. Listen.
You just talked a little too slow for my liking.
Whatever. Listen, I gotta put the frame right on him reaching for the ball, because that was more play than just the catch. Him moving, contorting his body to reach for the ball is what I want to frame, because that is what it took for him to get to the ball to make the catch, and that's very impressive by this one.
Well, but the next play, Berto's going to reward him for that catch and come back to him for a few yards. But once again, look at this. Show was open in the end zone. He's open. I think it may be a tough throw to make. Sometimes the receivers have to help the quarterback knowing passing lanes. And they don't do, Primetime's offense doesn't do that great. Looking out for the quarterback, getting in their passing lane where he can throw it to, they make him try to make difficult throws.
And at the end of this pass, all he had to do was step backwards a little bit, because the back of the end zone had a little bit more space. So all he had to do was step back a little bit, and maybe Berto would have been able to make that throw over the defender, but he doesn't. So Berto actually hooks him off when that was a potential touchdown right there.
Berto's going to throw to Lamar in the corner of the end zone for the touchdown, putting them in the game, 7-6. Great play by Berto, finally scoring for this offense.
And finally, Primetime gets it together. Berto's finally able to make the throw that he needs to get them on the board for the 6th goal. And Lamar actually, finding ways to get into the gaps and get open, playing full Birdo, making this job a little bit easier. They're going to need that throughout the game to even compete and to keep up with Blackout now that they're able to get things going themselves.
With the extra point, Primetime takes the lead 7-6. Alex is going to get the ball back, and on 5 rush, he's going to run for a decent game. Then Alex is going to throw in the middle to Angel for a short game, and now they're getting the ball moving. Then Alex is going to throw a pass in the middle to Poppers for the touchdown, 14-7. Great play, getting them right back in the game. That's a good throw by Alex.
And you already see now, Blackout is on the move. The offense is clicking now. Alex is getting his rhythm going, and they're able to to score again. He finds Poppers in the end zone, and it's just trouble for Primetime because now Blackout is moving. They're driving. They're not making any more mistakes. They're looking to take the win from Primetime, and this is something that Primetime is responding right away.
And they gave up 2 touchdowns after not giving up none in the first half. They gave up 2 consecutive scores to Blackout. So that's something to be concerned about. Birdo's going to get the ball. He's going to throw it to Lamar for a few yards. Then Birdo's going to come back to Lamar on the sideline, but the throw's way off target, incomplete. And these are the throws that I talk about. Birdo got a strong arm, but he's not the most accurate quarterback in the league. He makes a mistake here, missing Lamar on the sideline. Birdo's going to throw a nice pass this time in the middle for a short gain, find a show. And then Birdo's going to throw deep to Shrag in the end zone, but it's going to be just caught out of bounds. This throw is Birdo, again, not being accurate. He has Shrag open in the end zone, but the throw is not on point to where Shrag is. Now, because of where Shrag was already planted, he was already in the end zone. When Birdo makes this throw, Shrag has to move to adjust to the ball, and his feet goes out of bounds. Great call by official. Birdo has to make this throw. He has to get more accurate.
And yes, if you clearly see that because of the way the ball was thrown, it forces Shrag to step back to go and get the football and to go and get the pass, and because of that he ends up stepping out of bounds. He doesn't see where he's at because he's so worried about going to get the ball when he was already planted in a certain position. Birdo has to make accurate throws. He doesn't hear. He's pretty much killing their offense at this point all by himself because he's not making the throws that he needs to make.
Well, Birdo's going to throw a pass to Pratt in the middle, who's going to bobble it, but then adjust to the ball and make a great catch, show the end zone. Great play by Pratt, protecting the ball, making sure nobody can get it but him, or after the bobble, great play. And then Birdo's going to throw the disco in the end zone, who's going to make a nice catch and stay in bounds for the touchdown. I mean, that's putting them back into the game, 14-13. That is a great catch by Disco again, adjusting to the ball. Birdo does not make the best throw. He makes a good throw, the only way Disco can get it, but Disco has to adjust to the ball. He's able to keep his feet in bounds as his body goes out. Great catch by Disco in the end zone for the touchdown.
And this is pretty much Disco pretty much saving the day and keeping Primetime in this game. Another great catch that he's making. This is something that he's been doing all season at this point. And this is something that Primetime's going to need him to do over and over again if they're even going to compete. This is the second time that Disco does it. And if they keep this up, if their players play for Birdo, they may be able to scrape away with the win. But that's hopefully saying that because that's very hard when you have to adjust to a quarterback that's not as accurate.
That being said, now they're going to go for 2 points. They're going for the win rather than the tie. And me personally, I want to make it easy because I know that Birdo has not been on with his throws today, so why make it more difficult by attempting to go for 2? But I'm not a coach, and they're going to attempt to go for the 2-point conversion. And Birdo's going to throw the show in the back of the end zone, but it's going to be picked off by Jay, ending the game, giving the win to Blackout, 14-13, and I have to say, this was a bad throw by Birdo.
But the thing about it is, even Birdo knew it was a bad throw. As soon as he threw it, you heard him screaming on the field because he knew as soon as it left his fingers, it was a bad throw. They drew up a play for this very situation, and all it took was Birdo to make that throw. He did it, and it caused him to lose this game. I don't feel like they were ready to take this chance to go for the win right away because Birdo hasn't been accurate with his throws in this game. So now you're putting all of the pressure on Birdo to come out with the win, and he doesn't hear.
That's going to end the game 14-13. Blackout's going to sneak away with a win. And then Primetime defense played excellent, but the offense struggled all day. I mean, the defense did give up 2 scores in the second half back-to-back, but after the first half that they had, you can't complain. They played great. The offense has to help them. And if Birdo cannot make these throws, defense is going to have to play like this every week.
And the thing about it is, this is let's be honest. The defense is not necessarily Primetime's game, at least not this season. They haven't been the greatest on defense, but they end up showing that potential that I've mentioned before that they have, and they played very well early in the game. Unfortunately, they couldn't keep at it because, you know, Blackout started to get into their rhythm, and it's very hard to sustain a defense on a team that can actually score at any given time. So it's up to the offense to actually get the job done. It's up to Birdo to make the plays that they need him to make. He doesn't here, and it causes them a win in this game.
Well, I'm looking at it, and he has to step his game up, because when you face higher seed teams, you can't, this is not going to cut it. 13 points is not going to cut it, because it only gets more difficult. So they got to get it together. They got to figure out what they're going to do, because when you got teams like the Raiders and like that, all of them other teams in the seed, you can't do this or you're going to get smacked around. And Birdo has to step it up.
And the only reason why this was such a close game is because, again, not only were they struggling, but Blackout was struggling as well.
Yes.
Now, when you have a team that's on their rhythm from the beginning of the game, this is going to be a blowout waiting to happen if they don't get it together, because they won't be able to compete at all if they come out with an offense like this. And even their next game, they're gonna struggle. So they have to fix it and fix it now. Otherwise, to let the rest of their season, it's not gonna be looking good.
And they gotta figure out if Birdo is their quarterback. You know, I mean, if he can't get the job done, then maybe he's not the quarterback that they need to win. I mean, last week they scored 6 points. You know, this week they scored 13 points. You gotta be able to put up points. This is not gonna cut it. And he has to make these throws, because if not, this team is in for a losing season. Blackout comes away with another win after beating the Chiefs. They may not do it pretty, but they do it. That's all that matters in the BQFL, wins. That being said, come away with the win, 14-13. Great play by Blackout. Next game up, you're going to have Spartans versus Blackout. Spartans coming off of a loss to SYS, and Blackout's coming off a win to Bullies. The issue in this game, Spartans won't have Dave. They're going to have Asa throwing against the Blackout's team.
And who knows if that'll make all the difference. Asa's not necessarily a bad quarterback, so hopefully if he can get things together, they can sneak away with a win in this game.
Well, Asa is not a Dave.
No.
But Asa throws for the YG, so Asa can throw the football. But what happens is you lose Asa as a receiver now that they don't have Dave here. And remember, they already lost Happy Feet Chris. Chris retired from the team because he's refereeing now. So you already lost one weapon, and now you got to depend on his older brother to quarterback rather than having him coming out the backfield or running routes for you. So I think that's going to hurt the Spartans team.
And maybe that's all Maybe that's all the difference in the world to them, because they're used to having him as a weapon out there. Now he has to lead the team as the quarterback. So either he could pull up a well enough performance that it doesn't necessarily hurt them that much, or you will obviously see during the game that they actually miss him out there in the backfield.
And Blackout got their big boy draws on because they have been playing football. They just blew out Bullies. They just came away with a win to Primetime. And this team in general, no matter the division that the team is in, is playing to win a championship regardless of who lines up against them.
Well, they're fully focused now. They just came from playing Primetime in another division, and they're ready to seal a win in this game, knowing that the Spartans don't really have their full team. And so it doesn't matter who they play, they're going to look for the win, but they best take an advantage on this team, knowing that they're a little short today.
Well, we're going to jump right into the game, and after a few plays, we're going to have the first score of the game. Brian, quarterback for Blackout, throwing the pass to Alex, who's wide open in the end zone for the touchdown, giving them a lead 7-9, and they jumped on right when they lead right away from the gun.
And that's exactly how you start. You come out, and you come out guns blazing. They do that here. Alex is left wide open in the end zone. Nice throw by Brian to connect with him early, and that's a good start for their offense. Hopefully we get to see more of that from this team.
Remember, Asa gets to start because Dave is not here. Ace is going to throw a nice pass to a wide open Beaver for a big game. Then Ace is going to follow up with a short pass to Slim for a few extra yards. Then Ace is going to come in with a pass to Beaver in the middle for the touchdown, putting them back in the game, 7-6. Great drive by Ace, scoring right back on Blackout.
And they show that regardless if they don't have their quarterback here, they're not going to slow down their game. They're going to actually strike right back. Ace is able to connect with his receiver for the touchdown, and that's the best way to keep in rhythm and say that, you know what, regardless of what's short, we're still going to play hard, and they put points on the board early.
Brian's going to throw a nice pass across the field to Jay, but it's going to be dropped. Then Brian's going to come back with another pass to Angel on the sideline to get a few yards. Brian's going to follow up to a pass on the sideline for a few more yards, and follow up with a pass to Alex in the back of the end zone for the touchdown, 14-6. And Spartans don't have anybody that can guard Alex. He's a man amongst boys and he's dominating right now. His second touchdown of the game.
That actually looked like the same exact play from the first drive. It was pretty much the same design play. He was open on the side of the end zone, and nobody could pretty much stay with him. So that's like the easiest pass in the world for Brian to make to Alex. They connect there and they put more points on the board. This is trouble for the Spartans if this becomes a regular thing throughout the game.
Well, Alex is the BQFL versions of Calvin Johnson. He's unguardable. The guy has too much height and too much length to jump with. There's nobody in this league that can jump with him one-on-one. Just give a man his props, call a spade a spade. He's dominant. So unless you can make some, and it's hard to break him up because he's so big. So the key is to get to the ball when it's coming down and knock it out of his hands. We've seen him drop some passes like that. And that's the way to stop him. But unfortunately, they're not able to do it here. Touchdown Alex, giving them a 14-6 lead. Next drive, Ace is going to roll out to the left, dodges a tag, and makes a nice throw to Josh for a huge gain in the first down. And I love this play. This has to be a frame of the game. Look at this play by Asa. Great play.
And this is just Asa knowing exactly where to roll out to, seeing that the ball giver is coming, and he actually makes a stop and catches the ball giver, makes him keep going as he shakes him, and is still able to make an accurate throw to Josh down the field. That's an impressive play all by Asa, showing that regardless if Dave is here or not, he's going to quarterback and he's going to make plays for the team, and he does that right now.
Gotta be a frame in the game. Great play by Asa. Now this is something that Dave cannot do. Asa with the great play here. Asa's gonna follow with a pass to for the touchdown in the end zone. Say that 3 times fast.
I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right.
Hopefully we're pronouncing it right.
Yes.
We'll get to know the names like I said, but at the end of the day, he makes a good catch for the touchdown, putting them back in the game, 14-12.
And this is just the Spartans not slowing down. They're able to strike right back. Asa playing an impressive game out there, really playing big for his team. And at this point, we're seeing no defense on either side of the team. This is all offense. And Ace is showing that he can keep up with Brian in this game. He's battling back and he's playing very well.
And even though the Spartans are missing players, they're not scared. That's one thing I can say about Asa. They're not scared. They play whoever's on the field, and they're playing well here. Next drive, Brian's going to get the ball on far rush. He's going to run for a big gain. And then he's going to follow up with a pass to Jay in the end zone for the touchdown, 21-12. Great throw by Brian, showing he can find somebody other than Alex throwing another touchdown pass here.
And this is pretty much, like I said before, more of the same, just all offense. The Spartans are not able to play any defense against Blackout. They're able to do whatever they want. Brian is fine. Yet another receiver in the end zone. It seems like eventually he's going to throw it to his whole team because the Spartans have no way of stopping their offense at this point.
Well, Ace is going to follow up with a play of his own. He's going to throw a pass to Josh, opening the end zone for the touchdown right before the half, 21-18. Great play by Ace to find Josh in the end zone, getting him right back in the game before the half.
I mean, the offense looks good. They're making good plays, but where's the defense in this game? I haven't seen any on either side. It just looks like a shootout out there. And right now, the Spartans are just behind by a few points. That's all I see. Defenses need to step up because that's the only way either team is going to come up with the win. Other than that, we're just going to see a shootout the rest of the game.
And Blackout's not able to stop Ace. Ace is not Birdo. Ace is more mobile. Ace is more accurate. He doesn't have the arm strength as Birdo, but he's definitely more accurate than Birdo. So definitely, you gotta understand that this is a different player, and you can see Blackout's defense struggling going up against him.
Well, at the end of the day, it's just the defenses are not actually doing the job that they need to. The last game, Blackout actually played very good defense. They were able to keep the other team to a minimum of points. This game, I seemed like they just was tired out there. They weren't able to do anything against the Spartan offense, and not even against their starting quarterback. This is their backup quarterback with Asa out there. The only difference is Asa is able to be more. Asa's more mobile.
Yeah.
So he's able to shake the ball, give Graham himself a little bit more time to make throws, and he's doing that today. And he's really hurting Blackout's defense today.
Second half, we're gonna have Asa getting the ball back with the Spartans, as he's gonna throw a few short passes. He's gonna throw to number 24 for a nice gain. Then Ace is gonna follow with a short pass to number 18, moving the ball, trying to get it down the field. Then Ace is gonna throw a pass to Beaver in front of the end zone for the touchdown, 25-21, giving the Spartans the lead. Definitely first lead of the game. They're here and they're ready to battle.
Yeah. Right now, the Spartans are not slowing down. They put up yet another score. They're looking to take over this game and actually get the edge to try to take away this win. But it's up to their defense to actually seal a deal for them, because their offense is doing their job, but it's up to the defense to stop Blackout at this point. Otherwise, they're not necessarily going to get an easy win here. It's going to be a battle to the end.
Brian is going to get the ball back. He's going to throw to Alex in the middle for a nice game. Then he's going to follow up with a pass on the sideline for a short gain at number 33. Then Brian is going to throw a pass to Alex, who's going to make a jumping catch for the touchdown. 28-25. Great play. Alex's third touchdown of the game. He goes for the hat trick. And how can you not call this man touch footballs, Calvin Johnson?
Because pretty much nobody's able to do anything. Alex is able to say, you know what? I want to score a touchdown this drive, and he actually does that. It's like he's scoring points at will at this point, and the Spartans are not able to do anything but watch. It's unfortunate, because if that's the case, then there's no way that the Spartans can do anything to come up with this win if they have Alex so dominant in this game.
Ace is going to get the ball back. Remember, they're down 28-25. He's going to roll to the right and just get past the pass off the Josh, who's going to make a nice catch for a decent game. Then Ace is going to throw to number 18. It's going to be a little long, be incomplete. Then Ace is going to follow with a throw to Beaver in the front of the end zone, but it's going to be incomplete. Turning over the ball, giving the ball back to Blackout. Very much hurting them. They needed to score there.
And this was the opportunity lost. This is the first time they were able to get stopped in this game. And this may be the turning point in this game. They didn't need this at this point, because they're trying to keep up with Blackout, and they don't here. Now this gives Blackout the opportunity to seal the game away with a win. This is trouble for the Spartans. They need to do something and do it now.
Well, Brian is going to throw a pass to number 4, Jay, in the gap for a nice gain, and they end up following up with a pass to Ruben in the end zone for the touchdown, giving them the win. 34-25. You're going to have Blackout coming away with an impressive victory, beating I would say unmanned Spartans team.
And undermanned is right.
Definitely.
I mean, at the end of the day, you see that they're not the same team when their whole team is not here. So, they played hard, but eventually they started to crack at the end of the game. It's unfortunate, and that shows that they need their full team here in order to play the way that they need to. They played hard today, but it wasn't enough to come up with a win against Blackout. Blackout was just too good at the end of the day.
Well, Blackout, once again, you can't say much because Spartan's whole team wasn't here, and I think Primetime has a better defense than Spartans, which is what's the difference in this game. Why they come from scoring 14 against Primetime and then scoring 34 against Spartans. But Alex is their receiver on this B team. Alex threw on their C team. So that's the difference. And if Alex is going out as the receiver, and their team didn't have Breezy today. Breezy, their wide receiver, who they picked up from the Rebels. If they have him, this team is hard to stop. They did this and put up this many points without him. That's dangerous.
And dangerous indeed. So All they need is that one person to actually change the game. But if they play like this without him, then watch out when he comes back, because it's going to be trouble for whoever they play next.
That being said, Blackout's going to come away with the win, 34-25, beating the Spartans. Great win by Blackout. They go out 2-0. Next game up is SYS versus Super Friends. SYS is a team that everybody picked to win a championship because they picked up YMN players like Bones, Jeremy, Rico, and quarterback Nelson. So everybody has picked them to win a chip. You add them with a sprinkle of Rebels, Machine, Rico, Mills, and you got Zeke. You have players that are able to take this team to the next level and possibly win a championship.
Yes, and I feel like adding the YMM alum to this team brings not only toughness, it brings speed, it brings that much more skill and that much more hunger to this team to, win a championship. I think that that's a fit for this team, just adding these guys in, and I think that's the championship formula right there.
I think the two most dangerous guys on these guys on SYL's defense is Jeremy, of course, who's the master of the bait play. Best guy in the game, being able to bait quarterbacks into thinking the receivers open and getting interceptions. And this other guy on the defense, which is Zeke, who's one of the best safeties because he's very good at tracking the ball. You add them two plays together, and definitely a great defense you're going to put together. Add that with Machine up top being physical and Rico up top being physical, you have a great defense. Super Friends have Dion throwing. Super Friends is another version of Primetime, but they have Dion throwing, and Dion is a lot better quarterback than Primetime's Burger.
Hopefully that's all that they need in this game to get through the SYS defense. A better quarterback, a more accurate quarterback, a quarterback that's going to make the throws that their offense needs to make in order to get over a defense like SYS.
And Super Friends got great receivers. They got B-Roy, who's a great receiver. Kenny's a good receiver, and TJ is a good receiver. So they got guys that can actually can be used as weapons for Dion. So this is going to be an exciting game. Let's jump right to it. We're going to start off with Dion throwing a pass to Lamar on the sideline. It's going to be bobbled and picked off by Zeke, and that's a great play by Zeke. I just talked about Zeke in the beginning. He's great at tracking the ball. Does it right here to start off the game with a turnover.
And if you look at this throw right here, this is not the best throw that Dion makes early in this game. It's very short, and Lamar has to step up to go get the ball. And because of that, it draws the defender in as well. And the defender gets a hand and is able to bobble and catch the ball for an interception.
And if you look, this is a comeback play. He wants Lamar to come back to keep away from Zeke, but Zeke's still able to make the play. I got a better idea. Why don't you try not throwing it there? Because if you look, he had Disco wide open.
Yes, and the thing about it is, when you have a receiver that's wide open, chances are you're not going to throw an interception. So you have Zeke all over Lamar in this play. At the end of the day, you don't make that throw because if a defender is fast enough to stay with the receiver on a route like that, then he's not open. You might as well just look him off and go to the next person. He doesn't do it here, and it causes the turnover.
Well, Nelson's going to get the ball for SYS. He's going to roll to the right and throw a nice pass down the field to Rico for a huge gain. But SYS gets flagged for a block in the back, so the play is taken away, and I was the one who threw the flag. And if you see the play right here, the receiver is going to hit the giver from the back. The giver had a shot to get Nelson for the sack. It was definitely a block in the back. Great call by yours, shooter.
Yeah, let's not even get into that. The thing about it is, and that's definitely a play that deserves a flag, because if it wasn't for that flag, I think that the giver may have gotten Nelson there, gotten Nelson a little bit earlier, may have even gotten the sack. So that block in the back brings it all the way back. That was a nice throw by Nelson, but unfortunately, they get a flag and it comes all the way back.
Nelson's going to follow over to throw to Los in the middle, because Los is going to make a great catch here with it to help his quarterback move the ball. Then Nelson's going to throw a nice pass to Jeremy on the sideline to get them near the red zone. Then Nelson's going to throw to Rico in the front of the end zone for the touchdown. And if you see right here, Rico's going to beat TJ on the front route and beat him for the touchdown, 6-0. And TJ should know better than to get caught with this route.
and especially on a route like that. As soon as Rico is cutting inside, if you're not positioned in the right way, you're already beat. So this is exactly what happens. Rico is able to cut in on a dime, and right then and there, Nelson throws in the pass. That was a design play for Rico. If you see, he was going right for Rico all day. The thing about it is TJ is not in the right position, and he gets beat right off the line for that touchdown for SYS.
6-0 SYS. Next play, you're gonna on the kickoff, you're gonna have Lamar receive the kickoff, and with nice block, he's gonna run it for a huge gain, getting him all the way to SYS territory, even though they got YMM players. SYS territory. Great play by Lamar, and Lamar's a playmaker. He can do it on both sides, make sure they return to get Deion in great field position.
And they're going to need him to perform that way, making plays all around the field on offense, because if not, they're going to have a lot more trouble with this defense. Lamar has to be a go-to guy for Deion to make plays, otherwise it's going to be a struggling game for them.
Deion is going to throw a pass to Lamar downfield, but it's going to be broken up by Rico. Great play by Rico. Then Deion is going to throw a pass to Kenny across the middle for a decent gain, and follow with a throw to Kenny in the end zone, but it's going to be overthrown, turnover on downs. Deion not able to score, turned over the ball twice. It's his second turnover on downs. First was interception, and he's looking a little bit like Birdo the first game.
And I'm not going to say that it's SYS's defense. I think it's just Deion not in the rhythm right now. He's not making those throws. He's not being as accurate as he would need to be. And hopefully the Super Friends defense can step up, because right now Deion's not getting it done.
And I couldn't disagree with you more. SYS defense is fast.
Oh,
and
of course. I'm not taking nothing away from that.
I think Deion is more of a Tony Romo type. He can make all the throws. He can scramble, but he tends to make certain mistakes, like he did with the first one with Zeke, and he makes another mistake here, overthrowing Kenny in the end zone for that. He had him. Overthrow, and I think that's more.
But that's why I'm not saying that, oh, it was just SYS playing great defense. This is, look at you. You already know what I'm talking about. This is just Deion not taking opportunities where he has them and not making throws where he needs to. Just because you have a good defense with SYS doesn't mean that you lose the responsibility of making passes when you need to make them. And he doesn't here, and they're not able to move the ball at all.
Nelson's going to get the ball. He's going to throw deep to Bones in the end zone. But Bones going to get called with a flag for a push-off. Another flag that I threw. And if you look at it, right before you lose it in the camera, look right here with Bones extending his arm to gain position. That's an automatic push-off. You cannot use your hands to create separation from a defender, and he does it right here.
And that's all it took to earn the flag, because at the end of the day, when you put your hand, even if you don't necessarily push the defender, if you're extending your hands to keep the defender from moving backwards and go for the ball, that's pass interference right there. You're making contact.
Well, the ball was overthrown. He wasn't able to make the catch, but definitely is a play that he could have caught, but it was coming back anyway. Nelson's going to throw a pass to Rico for a short gain, gain him the first down. Then Nelson's going to follow with a pass to Machine for a few yards. Then Nelson's going to throw a pass to Bones, who's going to make a great jumping catch at the 10-yard line. Great catch by Bones. And then Nelson's going to follow up to Bones in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. With the two-point conversion, it's going to be 14-0. Great play by Nelson, finding his best friend Bones, and these two guys are on the same page. Touchdown.
And that's one thing about Bones. He's one player that's very hard to guard going out there in the backfield, because he's tall, he can jump out the gym, and he's one person that's also fast, and Nelson is so used to him already, he knows exactly where to put the ball for Bones to get it. It's on the money when they're able to connect like that.
Deion's going to get the ball at Women. His team is down 14-0, and Deion is going to throw a short pass to TJ for a few yards. Then follow out with a pass to B-Roy in the gap for a nice gain. Then he's going to follow up with a pass to Kenny in the front of the end zone, but it's going to be broken up and it's going to be incomplete. The next play, Deion is going to find Meek in the end zone for the touchdown, 14-6. Great play by Meek, but what I noticed today, Meek was playing injured. He limped a lot around today, but he stuck it out, sit in the game, 14-6, definitely wants to play in this big game.
And they needed him in this game. He's able to make a play right when they need to. He gets through the injury, and he's still able to get open and make a play for Deion to throw to him. That's the way to battle through and able to make plays for your team, regardless of how injured you are. They're going to need more of that throughout this game if they're going to keep up with SYS.
Nelson's going to throw a nice pass downfield to Jeremy, who's going to attack the ball and make a great catch and run it into the end zone for the touchdown, taking us into that 20-6. And this is all Jeremy. Great throw by Nelson, but if you can see here, Jeremy attacks the ball, which freezes the safety, because the safety already committed to score the ball, for the ball to go one way. Because Jeremy attacked the ball, he's able to catch it in stride and run it in for the touchdown. 20-0, great play by Jeremy.
But this is Jeremy one-on-one. This is Jeremy's game. Regardless of what side of the field he's on, he attacks the ball. He goes for it. He doesn't stay still. And that's the key to being a receiver as well as a defender out there. You have to keep your feet moving. He keeps his feet moving. He goes after the ball. If you sit there and wait for the ball to come to you, a lot of times the defense is able to make plays on it. Jeremy doesn't sit still, and he jumps for that ball, and it equals 6 points here.
20-6, definitely SYS with a great lead. Dion, we haven't seen a lot from him. He was not able to score early. He made some scoring towards the end of the first half, but in the beginning, SYS had his number, shut his offense down.
And this is pretty much what SYS came out to do. They came out to give Dion a hard time, lock up the receivers, knock down football, knock down passes, and actually make plays. They're doing that all throughout the game. Dion is having a tough time. Not only is he struggling, but he's not able to get through his defense as well. He's only able to put one score on the board, and it looks like he's going to have to fight throughout this game to even put any more points on.
Second half, Nelson's going to get the ball. He's going to see Jeremy in the middle, but he's going to throw a pass away from him because of the pressure. He's going to throw up his back foot. It's going to be tipped by Schwag, intercepted by Roland, giving Super Friends back the ball. And this is a terrible throw by Jeremy, by Nelson to Jeremy. Jeremy's open right here, but Nelson throws it right here. And you can see Schwag gets up and makes a tip. And I love this play because Jeremy plays defense on it now, and he takes a shot at Schwag, stopping him from getting the into, but the ball's going to stay up. Roland's going to make the dive into, give the Super Friends back the ball. Great play by him.
And I'm going to say 2 mistakes from Nelson on this play. One, not only did he make a bad throw, he threw the ball too late. And not only that, at the line of scrimmage, he's too close to it. He's not backing up. He's not dropping back and giving himself defense from the giver. So because of that, all it took is for the ref to say 5 rush, and Lamar's right in front of Nelson to make a play. And that's what made Nelson have to throw off his back foot. A little more space, and he probably would have had a little bit more time to make that throw, a more accurate throw. He's too close, he gets rushed, and he ends up throwing an interception.
Deion's going to get the ball back. He's going to drive down the field in the next few plays. Then he's going to throw in the end zone. It's going to be incomplete. And then he's going to follow up with that throw to show in the corner, but it's going to be broken away by Jeremy. Turnover and downs. And like I said, Deion got lucky that this wasn't intercepted. Jeremy is the master of the big play. He didn't get his hands to get the pick, but he's able to knock the ball down and turn over on down. And we've seen Deion get stopped 3 out of his first 4 possessions. Now looking good for Deion today.
And right now, it's all of the above. It's Deion not necessarily able to be as accurate as he needs to be in this game, but also SYS being is too much for him at this point. They're there almost every throw. They're in the receiver's faces. They have Deion looking for any type of gaps to throw the ball in. Unfortunately, he's not finding much with his SYS stingy defense, and it's going to be a long game for him to actually keep his team in this game.
Definitely. Now, next down, you're going to have Nelson with the ball, and he's going to throw a pass in the gap to Bones, who's going to make a great catch for a big gain and the first down. Nelson's going to follow up to that throw to Rico on the sideline for a nice gain. Then Nelson's going to throw to Jeremy in the slot in the gap, but it's going to be broken up here by Kenny. Great play by Kenny to break up the play. Nelson's going to throw a pass in the middle. He's going to be knocked away by Pratt, turning the ball over and down. Now Super Friends is playing defense, stopping Jeremy on his last 2 possessions. Great play by Super Friends.
And this is something that they needed to get their offense back on the field. They're playing good defense now. They're actually stopping SYS from scoring yet again on another drive. Now it's all up to the offense to do something because they need it right now.
Deion's going to throw a pass in number 24, short game. Then Deion's going to follow up with a pass, but he's going to be knocked down by Bones. Great play by Bones, knocking the ball down on 2nd down. Then on 3rd down, Deion's going to go deep to Kenny in the end zone, but it's going to be incomplete. Super Friends decide to go for it on 4th down. Deion's going to throw a nice pass to B-Roy, to get them into the red zone. Great play by B-Roy here, and then Deion's going to follow, coming back to B-Roy in the end zone for the touchdown, putting them back in the game, 20-12. Great play, smart by Deion to go back to B-Roy, who's a very good receiver, makes a great play here for the touchdown.
Well, they give him enough space, so why not throw it back door to him in that same area? That's all it took for Deion to find him in the end zone again. When you make a play for a quarterback and he's confident to throw it to you again, he's going to hit you off right afterwards, probably in the next play. You see it here. They connect finally to put more points on, to put another touchdown on board. It's something that they needed. Is it too late? Hopefully not. If they get this stride going now, it's all up to them to get another stop and to get back their offense back on the field.
20-12. Nelson's going to get the ball. He's going to throw a pass to Bones for a short game. Then Nelson's going to throw to Rico in the front of the end zone for the touchdown, 27-12. Great play by Rico. Rico's second touchdown in the game. Way to get to the ball, touchdown.
And now you see SYS getting back on the ball. Nelson's able to connect with Rico yet again from the first half. Now he's connecting with him again, finding Rico in the end zone. And this is trouble for the Super Friends because they were just getting back on the board. They were just starting to score. They were just getting their stride going. And now SYS scores yet again. If this keeps up, there's no way the Super Friends can catch up in this game.
Deion is going to get the ball back. He's going to throw a nice pass to Pratt in the middle for a nice game. Then he's going to come back. He's going to roll to the right. And he's going to toss the ball because the pressure's going to come in. He's going to toss a pass behind his back to Pratt, who's going to run a few extra yards. Look at this throw by Deion. That got to be a frame of the game. He throws it behind his back and it's accurate to Pratt for a few yards. Great play by Deion.
That looked more like and-one basketball to me. The way he just goes on one side of the field and just tosses it behind his back to another side of the field. That looked like he was trying to catch a guy off balance with the crossover, then a nice pass leading to something. That's something you normally see in basketball. He does it here for some, some decent yardage, but that's an impressive way to get rid of the ball and avoid the defense from making a big play.
After that great play he just made with the behind the back throw, he's going to follow up with a pass. Finding Kenny for the touchdown. Great pass by Deion, getting him right back in the game. Touchdown, great play, getting him moving.
Well, that alone leads you to think that play that he made previously should be framed up because that play is one of the keys to them scoring in this drive. They kept the drive alive, they didn't give a chance for the defense to make a play, and now they find each other in the end zone. That's something that they need to keep in this game. Now they're in this game, they have a chance to actually take this game away from SYS. I don't know what happened with SYS having a big lead, but now Super Friends has the momentum and they can steal away with a win if they keep this up.
Well, they're down 27-18, and now they're attempting to get back in it. They're going for 2. If they get the 2, they'll put them down 7. Deion is going to roll to the right, and he's going to throw to Meek in the corner. But the guy that I said is the best big play player in the game. That's in any league. Jeremy jumps the route, gets the interception, runs it back for the 2-point conversion. Great play by Nelson, getting the pick. But,
well, you just said it.
But Nelson runs on the field while Jeremy has the pick and he's running down the field. You can't see Nelson running on the field because of the angle the camera's going following Jeremy. But because Nelson comes on the field from the sideline, it's going to be a penalty, forcing them to lose the interception and give them Super Friends half the distance to the goal. Deion is able to find Meek again in the end zone for the 2-point conversion. Now they're only down a touchdown, 27-20, when this pick could have sealed the game.
Pretty much, the game was pretty much over at that point because they would have been up, what was 9 points? They would have been up 9 points. That would have been the game, definitely. But Nelson, being as excited as he is during that play, he gets on the field thinking that the game is over.
Actually, it would have been up 11.
Yes, he thought that 11.
Yeah.
So he thought pretty much that the game was over at that point, not understanding that the game is still going and the refs have to make that call. That's interference on the field. You gotta know this because if this can actually cost you the game, and plays like this shouldn't happen, and it does, and it gives the Super Friends life that they need to actually stay in this game. Now they have opportunities to actually take this game back.
They just got to receive the onside kick.
Yes.
They go onside. Remember, they're down 27-20. Rico's going to make the catch on an onside throw, end the game 27-20. Great win by SYS. They stood in the game. They was able to come away with the victory. Winning this game. Pretty much, they had the hand. The offense kind of shot their defense, shot Super Friends defense down. But in the end, Super Friends crept back in, but they came up a little short.
And this is one thing I could say is SYS really played very well in terms of offense. The defense was kind of spotty. Not to say that it was because they didn't play good defense, but I think that as they got the bigger lead, they started to slack up. And that's something you do not play down to your opponents, because all you're doing is keeping the other team in the game longer than they should. So that's something that SYS needs to understand when they play stronger teams out there. They need to knock these teams out of the game early. If not, they're going to have longer games that they can actually lose.
Correction, SYS wins 26-20.
Yes.
That was the final score of the game, 26-20. Now, this was a great game. Dion attempted to make a comeback.
Yes.
He actually threw a bad interception in the beginning of the game. He was able to move the ball. He didn't show us a Dion that's regular. But again, it could be by his SYS team. Great play by them to come away with the victory.
And like I said, they have a dynamic defense out there. They have a lot of playmakers. And like you said in the beginning of this game, bringing these guys from YMM makes all the difference in the world, because they make a strong defense into a stronger defense.
But my issue is Nelson threw the ball to Jeremy more than half the percent of the time. He either threw it to him or in his area. Now, if you look at the stats, you're going to have Bones, Jeremy, Rico with 2 touchdowns. So Jeremy had 1 and an extra point. Rico had 2 and Bones had 1. And then Rico had 1 for SYS. So you see Nelson throwing to the guys he's comfortable with, his teammates from YMM. What happens when they start losing? And SYS, we've seen a lot of SYS receivers upset that Nelson doesn't look for them. So I think that's going to become a problem when the season goes forward, with them not getting the ball to the other guys and only keying on these guys. But that's a double-edged sword, because once Jeremy stops getting the ball, you have another issue. So I think that's what's going to stop this team going forward. The lack of there only being one and Nelson being comfortable throwing to his guys.
But all it takes is for Nelson to actually give other guys opportunity. And that's how you learn about your team as a quarterback. You learn who does what by giving them that opportunity. Let them fail before you decide to look them off. Give them a chance.
But you're going to go for the guys you're comfortable with.
But
you got Bones, who's one of the best guys in the game, going for the ball.
But
you got Jeremy, who got some of the best hands of the game. And you have Rico, who can make a move in any type of space. When you got those 3 weapons, you're going to look for them 3 weapons. And that's your friends. That's your family. But what happens when these other receivers are getting upset that they're not getting their touches?
But my point is, that's why it's up to Nelson to seal that in the
it's up to the coaching staff, which this team seems to not have it.
No, it doesn't seem like they do. But my point is, as the leader of the team, you got to understand, and yes, these guys are who you're comfortable with, but you got to understand, you're not on a team where it's just your guys. It's other guys too. You have to all come together and use everybody all the same. Because some of these guys, they're all playing defense together. So why can't they all play offense together? Everybody should have the opportunity. So I feel like when you have other guys coming into the team, that's going to happen. And I feel like the guys from SYS should have saw this coming. Nelson is going to be comfortable with these guys. He's going to pay attention to them on offense a little bit more. You know that that's what's going to happen. You just got to expect it and maybe be able to adjust when things get hard. When they start to lose and Rico may have a bad game, Bones may have a bad game, or they may not show up. Who knows? You got to be able to adjust with who you have on the field. And that's up to the coaching staff and Nelson. This team has to come together, because that's going to be their main problem. That's going to make them lose.
I've seen Nelson and Jeremy go at it at times, because Jeremy doesn't get enough touches. Now that happens on the YMM team, which is their family team. Now we did see Nelson tone it down at times, Jeremy tone it down at times, being on SYS. But Jeremy wants to win.
Yeah.
And he feels that he's the best player to help this team win. So I think it's going to become a problem coming down in the season. We're going to have to just see what happens later on down the season. But we're going to come back because there's always a bonehead play in Bonehead University, which is the music. That's what that stands for. And this one has to be on this play right here. You're gonna have Rico make a catch on a short play, and he's gonna make a move that the ref is gonna blow the whistle, and he not gonna get tagged. That is a bonehead play by the ref.
And I wonder who that ref is.
Unfortunately, the ref is myself. It was me. So I am now a member of Bonehead University. I blew the whistle before he got tagged. I assumed he was going to get tagged. And of course, I made an ass out of myself, assuming he was going to get tagged. He shook me. He also shook the camera. I'm going to be fair, and everybody gets it on the show, even me. That is a bonehead play by this man right here, Bonehead University. Hopefully we can get him a cap and gown because he made a definitely bonehead move. Definitely had to throw it out there.
Yes, I'll add myself too. Yes, he caught me. I ended the shot early as well. Because yes, he did shake me as well. I thought he was tagged at first. So I'm not going to lie, I admit it. He did shake us, but that just shows.
He looked a little like Mayweather.
Yes.
Beating the camera.
Uh-huh.
Because he caught me.
He caught both of us. So, well, yes, we both belong in Bonehead.
We felt like Pacquiao on that.
Yes.
But come away, SYS with the win. 26-20. Great win. They're keeping the winning going. Great win by them. Next game up, we have the last game of the day between Rebels and Bullies. Rebels are excited about this game because they get their starting quarterback back, Manny, who was suspended 2 games previously for an incident that happened last season.
And that's something that hurts when you had your star quarterback out for a good portion of the season. Now your offense is that much different. You may even be weaker, you could say. Well, you could definitely say, because Manny is pretty much one of the best quarterbacks out here. So to not have him on your team, that's pretty much takes away a championship for your team. So of course they're going to be happy to have him back, because now it's business as usual, and hopefully they get back to that championship level.
They also got one of his favorite receivers back, Wise, who them two have a good chemistry. Special Wise coming out the backfield, give him a guy in a kind of like a flanker position, guy that comes in the flats. Definitely a good receiver for Manny, and I'm pretty sure Manny's happy to have Wise back his first game.
And sometimes you may not see a person come out the backfield as a big receiver, but sometimes that's a big addition for the quarterback, because that's a comfort zone, that's a safety valve. That's somebody you know you can go to that's always going to be there to make plays and make a good catch, to get some good yards for you, to keep the ball moving. And that's all that a quarterback may need to actually get his confidence up and be able to make plays going forward.
And on the other side, the Bullies lose their quarterback Joker. He's not here today, and that's definitely going to hurt this team, because even though I think Mister is a decent backup, he's not a Joker.
And when you see one person gaining something, you see this team losing something. And Joker actually played, well for them in the last game. It was a close game, even though they lost the last game. But to not have Joker in a game like this, it hurts you that much more, because they need this offense to compete with the Rebels offense in this game. Without Joker on this team, I feel like it's going to be a totally different game for the Bullies.
Well, we're going to jump into the game now. Miss is going to throw a pass to number 84 for a decent game. Then Miss is going to follow up by getting sacked by Rico. Rico with a great pressure here, definitely able to get to the quarterback. Great sack by Rico. Miss is going to end up finding Dave in the front of the end zone for the touchdown. 6-0. Great start. Great way to start the team going. Mr. filling in for Joker.
And when you're filling in, you got to make sure that you're playing your hardest out there to actually keep the team moving. Because if not, that could throw off your whole momentum. He's actually able to connect early and put up the first points of the game. That's a good play by Mr. finding his receiver in the end zone. that's a way to start the game when you're playing against a team like the Rebels who have a high-octane offense.
Manny's going to get the ball. He's going to throw a nice pass to Mills, crossing the field, who's going to run in there for a touchdown, tying the game 6-6. Manny starting right off, getting the team going with a touchdown pass.
And this was just right there, bang, bang. Manny first coming on the field on pretty much the first play of the game, finding Mills open with that slanting play, and Mills running, attacking the ball, is able to freeze the defense and able to run in right into for the score without anybody even looking to touch him.
Miss is going to go to Case for the first pass for a nice game. Then Miss is going to come back again to Case on the sideline, but it's going to be knocked away by Mills. After 2 offside penalties, Bullies are forced to punt. They were going to go for a preview. They decided to punt. Not a good start for the team. Not looking good starting off their second possession of the game.
Yes, and to have 2 penalties on you on one drive, that kind of hurts because that's yardage lost and that's your momentum being lost as well. So because of that and the missed cues on offense and the other couple plays, that was it for that drive. They had to punt. They had no other choice, and that's the opportunity lost because you're giving the Rebels another chance to put points on the board when they just scored off of one play. So this is not looking good right now.
Manny's going to throw a pass to Darryl in the middle for a decent gain on the play. Then Manny's going to follow up with a short pass to Kells with nice blocking, who runs it in for the touchdown, 14-6. Great lead right here. Manny starting off. And one thing I know, I've played with this team, won a championship with this team. When Manny gets going, he's nearly unstoppable once he gets that confidence.
And the confidence, it's made of steel right now at this point. It looks like he can't do any wrong in this game. He's getting everything that he wants. He's able to make the throws that he needs to, and the offense is playing with him. So with an offense like this, there's not too many teams that can stop him at this point. They look like they're going, and they're not looking to stop.
Miss is going to get the ball back. He's going to throw a pass short to Dave for a short gain. Then Miss is going to follow up with a pass to number 84, who's wide open, but the pass is going to be too short. It's going to be incomplete. Miss is going to follow up with a pass to Lob, crossing the end zone, and that's going to be dropped. Then Miss is going to come to lefty in the corner of the end zone, but it's going to be knocked away, turning the ball over on downs, giving the ball back to this Rebels team. Not a good look because Bullies cannot slow this Rebels team down. Offense got to help them, and they're not doing it here.
And this is a terrible drop by Lob in the end zone. This was a touchdown right here. This is when they needed to answer and they needed to score, and Lob gets a nice pass right in his hands, and it goes right through his hands. It's not something that you can afford when you don't have your quarterback, you don't have your full offense here, and when you have the opportunity to make plays and you don't, it hurts your team that much more playing against a team like the Rebels.
And the problem with this is their defense has been pathetic, and now they lost Matrix for the rest of the season with a dislocated shoulder. He's definitely somebody who's kind of orchestrate the defense, and without him, this defense is nothing, and you see Rebels are able to run up points quick. Manny's going to get the ball back. He's going to throw a short pass to Wise for a short gain, definitely getting Wise involved. Then he's going to throw a pass to Darryl in the gap, who's going to run for a nice gain, getting the ball moving. Manny's going to come back to Wise for a short gain, and then Manny's going to throw again to Wise, but this is going to be knocked away by Steve-O. Manny relying on Wise for that short gain, but this is the funny play. Manny comes back with the same play that he had. He went to Wise, and he's going to have Wise bait the corner, make him go with him, leave the Kells in the open for the touchdown. Great setup play by Manny, throwing the touchdown to Kells for the touchdown, 22-6.
And you could tell that they're playing a man on this defense right now. So what they do is, Manny has Wise cut from that spot in the middle and have Kells come right trail right where Wise was to take up that spot, and right there he's wide open for the touchdown pass. That's a great design offense right there, beating the man defense of the Bullies, and that's another touchdown that they put on the board. It looks like they're designed to beat the Bullies at this point because the Bullies cannot answer.
Kells' second touchdown of the day. They're going to get the ball. Miss is going to throw a Hail Mary. It's going to be incomplete. Taking us into the half, 22-6. Right now, the Rebels are doing whatever they want. Their defense is shutting down Mister. Their offense is running the Bullies out the park. And right now, the Rebels are bullying the Bullies.
Yes, and it's an ironic thing to have the thing happening, the bullying happen to the Bullies right now. Obviously, you see that they're not the same team without Joker. They're not able to move the ball the same exact way. And the Rebels are actually playing good defense out there as well, so that's more pressure on you to get something done. The Bullies need to come out and make the second half like a second game for them, because they cannot come out the way that they have in this game. Rebels are pretty much looking great out there. They're doing everything that they need to, and if they keep this up, they're looking at a big win for them with Manny's return.
Rebels get the ball back in second half. On the throw off, Kels is going to catch it, and with great blocking, he's going to run in there for the touchdown. Great play, and let's watch this play right here. He's going to run it. Look at his first block by Speedy. Great way to seal the guy on the inside. Then you're going to look at Cheddar, the next block. Great way to seal the block on the outside. Then you have Mr. Bully, Bunky, picking up the ending of the block. Definitely great block by Bunky right there. You're going to see Kels running through the middle. And the final block here, if you can see him, Vic picks up the last block as Kels able to cut it back to the inside, running it all the way for the touchdown. And that has to be the frame of the game. Great blocking by these Rebels team. Great movement by Kels, running for the touchdown. Each player doing his job to get Kels into the end zone.
And I'm going to have to see if I can frame that whole area, that whole section right there, because that was just great blocking right there by the whole Rebels special teams. That's one way to stick to a play, regardless of what play that is. Sticking to the blocks, moving from one person that you block and moving to the next person. That's your best way of moving the ball, and they do it like they do it every day.
He looked like the president with the Secret Service, getting everybody out their way. Speedy with a great block, Cheddar with a great block, Bunky with a great block, and Vic finishing off with a block, scoring a touchdown. 30-6 now, and now it's a laugher.
Yes, it looks like this is just a game. Now it just looks like we're just waiting for the time to run out, because at this point the Rebels have this game sealed and put away, because they're not doing anything wrong. Even special teams are able to put points up. And I feel like at this point, if they're playing like this, there's no way Bullies can come up with a win in this game.
Miss is going to throw to a wide open Meek in the middle of the field for a nice game. Then Miss is going to throw a pass to Meek, who's going to bobble it but get it back for the touchdown, 30-12. He's trying to make it respectable. Great play by Meek to stay in the game and make a great catch.
And that's the way to make a play happen, to actually try your best to keep develop a momentum with your team late in the game, because they're struggling out there to get anything going. But I don't see much of that changing anything, because the Rebels are on and they're pretty much unstoppable at this point.
Right now it's 30-12. Manny's going to throw a pass to Wise, who's wide open for a big game. Once again, he's comfortable Wise. He finds him out the backfield. Great game right here. Then he's going to throw a pass to Darryl in the back of the end zone for the touchdown, 36-12. Blowing the Bullies out of the water. Great touchdown pass by Manny, finding him in the end zone.
And this is another time when Manny actually is able to score, throwing the way he needs to. It seems like Manny has not been affected by this suspension
His fourth touchdown pass.
Yes, 4 touchdowns already.
No insoles.
No insoles. Manny is actually on from the get-go. It looked like he was really anticipating coming back, because he's putting on a great performance out there.
Next drive, we're gonna have Vincent throwing the pass to Crazy for the nice game, and he's gonna follow up, finding Crazy deep in the end zone for the touchdown, ending the game 36-18. And you ask, well, why didn't we just end the game? Why did we show Crazy touchdown? Because unfortunately, I said last week, and if you take us back to the clip, that ghost challenge, let's look at it here.
Listen,
you're gonna frame my kick next week. If I do his game and he scores, I'm going to do the kick too. I didn't expect him to score right away. I didn't even think that I was going to have their game. But thanks to Mr. C.O. Darren making me do their game, Crazy able to score. He had scored in the other game on the other field, but I wasn't doing the game. So I'm not going to do the move out. But he scored this game. And as you can see, all the players come on the field. Game is already over.
On both teams.
Both teams come and form a circle and force me to do the crazy spinning roundhouse kick after the touchdown score.
And at the end of the day, I had to do everything in my power to record it and actually show it to you guys, because this is something that we have to film. We have to archive this. This is something that we have to see forever and ever. You attempting to do something because you put your foot in your mouth, and now you have to use those same feet to make a spin kick on the field in front of everybody. That's something I had to cover. That was a pleasure of mine. Thank you, Crazy, for convincing him to make a stupid wager like that, because now he has to pay for it.
Well, we're going to give you side by side. Look at Crazy's kick. Okay. Pretty impressive. You know, let's show it again. Pretty impressive. I think it's okay. Now you're going to see mine. Just put it right next. Let's show it right now. I think it was almost identical.
Almost. Oh my goodness.
Let's do it side by side. Look, side by side. One after the other. Okay. Now at the same time. That's identical. If it wasn't for me being black and him being Spanish, you would have thought that that was the same person.
Listen, you could even get your foot around at the end.
It got around.
No, it didn't. Listen, the only thing you probably got right was the ending when you did the pole. And you didn't even do that right. Listen, let's just say that was a once in a lifetime thing. That will never happen again. Because I don't even want to see you try that again. You're disqualified from that. You should get a flag and a disqualification for that horrible kick. Don't ever put your foot in your mouth again, because we don't need to see none of that. Only once. It was funny the first time. Never try that again.
Listen, I'm Stephen J. Smith. And if I want to put my foot in my mouth, which don't usually happen, this one time it happened, but let's wrap up the game. 36-18, Rebels with a big blowout win. Definitely great for this team to get it moving with their starting quarterback back. We actually had the opportunity to interview Manny and the rest of these guys. Let's get that interview. Oh, what's going on, y'all? Stephen J. here with a few of the Rebels, coming off of a big blowout win, 36-18. Manny, first game back off a suspension, you threw 4 touchdown passes. How was you able to keep the rhythm after missing so many weeks?
Just felt good, man, playing Saturdays, but my team, I've been playing them for a long time, so it feels good. Everybody knows how we play, so I'm comfortable with all the guys.
We've seen the team start out with Chino beginning the season while he was on suspension, but it was always pointed at, you're the ref, you're the quarterback. Is that true? Are you the only quarterback in the Rebels?
No. Listen, I'm 8 quarterback, 8 division, but we got certain guys for each division. It's either me, Chino, whoever gets called up, you got to do the job.
Time when number gets called, you gotta put it up.
Kels, you had 3 touchdowns. You also ran a kickback. You don't want to touch it. How were you able to get in the zone? How was your zone? Like, what was it today?
Missed out. That was my first game back. Missed out on all these games. I just had to catch up, you know? Like, had to come back and do my thing, you know?
Tell me about the kickoff return that you ran back.
Kickoff return, that's great blocking. Bunky, Ito, everybody. Shout out to all of them. They just opened it up for me and I squeezed right between. Shout out to them. Without them blocking, I ain't going nowhere.
Why did you come back to the Rebels? You was taking no time off. You came back. What made you decide to come back to continue to run with the team?
I wanted to see if I could spark the energy that I had in the past. I wasn't really having fun in the past, and I felt like maybe this time around, maybe I could spark something. Manny hit me up and told me we had a game today, man. I was like, you know what? Let me give it a shot and see how, what I can do. See if I can spark something.
What do you say to teams? Right now, you won, 5 championships? But people don't really give you, you seem like you're never amongst the elite when we talk about teams. How do the how does the Rebels feel about not being mentioned as the elite? We hear Carver, we hear the U. We don't really hear Rebels.
We love it. Every day we gotta prove something.
We got to prove to everybody, but I mean, we made it to 2 championships in the A division. B division is shut down. We got that. Now it's just the A division. So we lost to underrated Dynasty, 2 good A division teams, but we no slouch, man. We give everybody good company. We just gotta prove to everybody that.
Now this is a team question.
We don't need
y'all first game with y'all quarterback back. You had a blowout win. Was this a statement game?
Every game's a statement.
Every game, pretty much.
At the end of the day, it's like you said, they don't mention us among the elite teams, right? So we out here trying to prove ourselves every day. They see what we do. So at the end of the day, we ball.
Man, we don't need the other teams to solidify our win to stand by.
We know what we do.
Last question. How do y'all think about my kick?
It was bad. You ended it well with the stretch. You got the stretch down back at the end. How you feel about that kickoff? You gotta keep working on it. Keep working on it.
No, we're gonna thank the Rebels for being with us here today. Big win over the Bullies. Rebels are back, guys. See y'all in a second.
Be aware. Be aware.
Thanks, y'all. They seem confident. They seem ready. And they know that they're going to have kind of a bullseye on their back. But this team has won numerous championships. One with Church Shirley. And they definitely are up for the challenge.
Yes, and I feel like pretty much with Manny back, now it's business as usual. Now they're looking to beat up at all the teams that come up in front of them. And they start with the Bullies, unfortunately for the Bullies. They look like they're on the same page. They're actually on rhythm. It looked like they never slowed down from when Manny left the team from the suspension. So now this is trouble, knowing that off the bat, Manny's able to pull out a game like this, because it can happen at any time against any team at this point.
But we're not going to give them a championship yet, because you got a team like Blackout, who actually has one of their best players, Breezy, that was formerly a Rebel, and you have a team like SYS, who has Zeke, another big player on their team. So I think definitely that's something we talked about. But this defense of the Rebels is cemented by the inside core of Speedy and Mills playing it inside. They cemented. So this defense is definitely something to deal with. And Rico is a great ball giver. So this is going to be definitely an interesting season now, seeing what's going on with this team.
And it's a pleasure to see that now we have the full Rebels team back together with Manny sealing, well, not the whole Rebels team, but now they have their quarterback. So now they can play that with that high octane offense that the way you used to see with them. And now it's going to be a lot of competition between them and the young SYS team and the Blackout team. It's interesting to see who may come up on top with those three teams playing against each other.
Well, we're going to have to end it here, but we're going to, as we always do, we're going to give you the full frame of the game. You're going to have Asa with the great shake here in his game with the Spartans. Great play here by Asa. Then you're going to follow that up with Disco with the great catch here in his game for his team, Primetime. Then you're going to have a great play by Dion here for Super Friends with a behind-the-back pass. Great play by Dion. And we're going to end that with Kells with a great run back with the whole team of the Rebels blocking. Definitely, those are all four of our frame of the game. Definitely a great way to end the show. I'm excited to see what happens next week.
And plays like that is plays that keep you watching football from day in, day out.
Or watching Real Tough Talk.
Oh yeah, our show is awesome. Let's just say that. And we make the football that you see on the field, even though the football is great, we make it better. Because we actually bring it to you in a way that only we can.
And you especially get to see a good-looking guy like myself. That also helps.
Yes, especially doing that kick that you did. You look so good doing it. Let's keep seeing that.
And as long as you make football plays, we're going to be there to record it. We're going to give you the best. We feel like we're the best show out there. We're confident. We're not cocky. We're confident because we feel that we're good at what we do. So as long as you do the plays on the field, we'll do it on the film. That being said, I want to thank y'all for being here with us. We're going to thank Mr. CEO for bringing us in. Darren, great job. Definitely doing a great job. It's a pleasure for us to be a part of the BQFL. And we're going to end it like that. With that being said, I'm Stephen J. This is Ghost. We're going to wrap up the show. Thank you for being with us. We're going to see y'all on a very special Mother's Day BQFL Sunday. See y'all next week. Thanks for being with us.